And this session and all of them that we're going to learn today, BeEzrat HaShem, should be dedicated to Refuah Shlema dear Rabbi Yaron Ruven Shlita. His name is Yaron Ben Doris, Yehudis Bas Noach, Ariel Avora Basana, Mimir Asirachal Bas Brandel, David Shlomo Ben Sandra. Also a quick release. Our dear friend Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina and Atzlacha Rabbah, to our friends Giveres Chana, Bas Avraham Avinu, and the whole family, BeEzrat HaShem. So we continue today with our class Shabbos Home, and we're on chapter 23, which is trapping. So let's see how. Okay, trapping, and we're up to practical application. So we learned so much. I think it was very long chapter. So section number, what is it? 8. Practical application. Setting traps. One is permitted to set any type of trap before Shabbos. However, one is forbidden to set any type of trap on Shabbos itself. So I mean, traps to trap, I don't know, insects, right, or mice, or fish, right, or wild animals, deer, right. So before Shabbos, there is no problem. Okay, but on Shabbos, it's not allowed. B. Trapping bees, yellow jackets, and hornets. Okay. We explained above that trapping this type of stinging insect on Shabbos is permitted, so long as it is not done with a specifically made trap. See further section 7. Okay. So trapping bees, yellow jackets, and hornets. So if it's possible, just to shoo them away. So that's what you have to do. Especially as I said, they come on in your sukkah. So try to I mean, if you have this canvas sukkah, right, you have this net, right, the door net. Try to keep it closed. That's it. And of course they can come. There are many openings in between the schach and the wall. I understand that, but chances are much smaller. Okay. So and plus, if you can chase it away, why should you trap it? But if you have no choice and right, other people around the table are afraid, yeah, you can trap it. So as we said, with makeshift these traps, like put a cup on top of it. Okay. Or just cover. For example, it goes inside of the cup because you have something sweet, so cover with a napkin. Okay. But still, I would say if you can trap, just let it go outside. Okay. So continue, but technically you can trap them. Okay, so C, closing doors in a room where there is an animal inside. In many cases, one is forbidden to close the door in a room on Shabbos if there is an animal inside the room. With regard to many fully domesticated pets, this does not pose difficulty, for the capture of the most domesticated animals is not including prohibition of trapping. However, a semi-domesticated pet, there is one who does not entirely familiar with its masters, right, can present its owner with the following halachic difficulty. It is forbidden to capture a semi-domesticated animal on Shabbos. Hence, if the owner is in a room with a semi-domesticated pet and he opens the door to leave, he may not close the door behind him, for by doing so he is trapping the animal in a room. One who finds himself in this situation must open the door slowly so that he can fill the gap with his body as he opens it. He must do the same while closing the door, being careful to ensure that the gap will remain blocked the entire time. Since he never created an opening through which the animal could escape, the animal was considered to be trapped even while the door was open. Therefore, there is, when he then closes the door, he has not violated the Melachch of trapping. So that's a long explanation, but let's see. So let's see from the beginning, and we're going to investigate. So semi-domesticated animals, just quickly to remind us, We say that the animals, they go on their own, right, during the day, and they come back during the night. We had, for example, we had this example of doves, right, and some other animals. I think some chickens, right? They roam around the whole day and then they come back. Some of them like stay in the yard, but some of them just roam around. Maybe birds in a cage also like this, right? Is a domesticated animal. If you let it go, it's going to fly away, right? But is it stay home, right? Well, because it's in a cage, right? So that's how you would feed these birds, right? Make sure not to open this door completely, meaning that always with your hand, as we're going to explain. I mean, he's talking about the body, like close the gap. So meaning this bird would never have the opportunity to fly out. Okay. So again, in many cases, one is forbidden to close the door in a room on Shabbos if there's an animal inside the room, right? So the wild animal for sure, right? So it is trapped. It does not want to be there. Domesticated animal, like that's normal. So I think if you close behind the cow, you put it in like in the barn or something, it has something to eat, something to drink. It does not care about right. It feels perfectly fine in that enclosure. So it's not being trapped. Okay. With regard to many fully domesticated animals, this does not pose difficulty, right? So as we said, for the capture of the most domesticated animals, not including prohibition of trapping. So these domesticated animals, we said, is what? They're in a constant state of capture, being captured. So meaning there is no problem with them. So right, the dogs, again, dogs and cats, if they don't want to be there, if they feel they're captured, that's would be a problem, right? If you close the dog in a bathroom or in a room and it wants to get out, so yeah, for sure it feels captured. But in general, if they're fine there, so there is no problem. However, semi-domesticated animals, semi-domesticated pet, there is one that does not entirely familiar with the master. So do not, I mean, there are some cats like that as well. Right? So as I said, I'm going to shul in the morning, and there are some cats roaming around during during the day. Maybe they're going to come, but the whole night they're out. Okay, I'm not sure if it's healthy, but that's what they do. All right. So this case presenting its owner with the following halachic difficulty, right? So it is forbidden to capture semi-domesticated animal on Shabbos, right? Hence the owner, like this semi-domesticated animal, before opening the door. So meaning don't create an opening for this animal to escape. Right, so meaning you always block, so you open a little, and with your body you block in the gap. So and the same you close, so meaning that it was never like in a sense the door was never open, right? Because open meaning that there was no room for animal to escape. Right, so that's right. That's not considered that you capture. Meaning it's not considered that you change the situation of this animal. Okay. So next one is D. Opening and closing door and a bird cage on Shabbos. Okay, I think we discussed, but let's quickly see, maybe I missed something. It is forbidden to close the door of occupied bird cage on Shabbos. For by doing so, one is trapping the bird. Thus, one who finds it necessary to open the door of the cage on Shabbos. Usually, as I said, we had a few students who have birds. They can feed without it, right? Some like to pet the bird, but technically they can feed through the cage. There is no problem. Even add water and something. Somebody told me the water like stay there for 3 or 4 days. So like this bottle, more than enough. Okay. So food. I'm not sure. They had to feed. Once a day. Okay, so the only feed was a problem, never water. Okay, So meaning don't open the gate. But if a person needs exactly do the same as the procedure, just I'm going to skip because it's we discuss it exactly as with the door, like to open, like open with the one hand and try to close the gap with another hand completely. And that's not a problem then. So let's continue to E. Closing the door to large room containing insect. One is permitted to close the door in large room on Shabbos, even if there is an insect flying about inside the room. The insect in a large room is considered to be completely free. Therefore, closing the door is permitted under the biblical and rabbinic law. Okay, so meaning as when we discussed before, not last class, the one before that, I think, or right. So we discussed the definition of being captured. So meaning that you limit the maneuver of this animal, right, and you can easily grab it, catch it. So, but if it has a lot of room to maneuver and it's not so easy to catch, so it's not trapped. So meaning it can run around. Yeah, you limited the space, but not much, right? It's not so easy to capture. So needless to say about this insect, right? If you close the door and there is a fly, go catch a fly, right? So meaning there is no problem. Not permitted. So this would be permitted under biblical and rabbinic law. Next one, F. Trapping fly between the window and screen. If there is a fly or other insects on the window screen, one may not close the window on Shabbos. Okay. May not window on Shabbos. Since one thereby traps the fly between the window and the screen. However, if one's intention is closing the window is not to trap the fly, but to keep out the cold air, right, or the noise from the street, one is permitted to close the window, even though the fly will be trapped in the process. If there are good-sized holes in the screen, or wide cracks between the edge of the screen and the window frame, so that the fly can easily find its way out, it is not considered to be trapped. Therefore, one is permitted to close the window on Shabbos. So, so let's look at this situation. I think it's very practical. It's very, very practical. So especially the windows that this type that goes up and down. What is it called? Double hang, I think. Right. So meaning the fly is from inside, so it's not from out. It's outside. There's no problem. So it somehow it got inside of the house, and now it's between. It's on a screen. So basically, if you close the window, so the fly is going to get trapped. One second. But if you try to open the screen from outside. I think there is solution to this. I think if you before the way I see it, like I imagine now, if you before you close the window, if you open up the screen, so the fly would be able to fly away. I think so. Very simply. So I mean what I'm trying to practically, you don't have to trap it. But if for whatever reason it does not work, or this screens got stuck or something, right? Usually people don't move it often, but let's say they got stuck, right? So we're not allowed to close the screen because why? Because this fly is going to get trapped on one hand. If you want to close the window, not because of the fly, but because it's cold or cold or too hot, and you want to turn on the air conditioner, for example, or there's noisy on the street, right? So meaning it's not about skies, it's not about a fly, it's about you being comfortable, the whole family being comfortable. Then there is no problem, right? And plus, very interesting, if there is big holes, But in the screen, it's a problem if you have big holes. I mean, on one hand, it's good that fly can get out, but on another hand, like, what's the purpose of the screen to keep the insects away, right? Cracks between the edge of the screen. Yeah, that's issue. Okay. All right. So. Okay. So meaning if there is like escape route for a flight, these cracks in right between the side of the window and the screen, or in the screen itself, there is no problem. So the fly is not considered a trap. So meaning it can find its way out. Okay, so that's why one is permitted to close the window on Shabbos. So, but initially, as I said, like if you can move your window screen, you just go try to pull up, and that's it. So the fly should fly away. Okay, it can fly in also, like in the house, but hopefully you blocking the way, so it's going to fly out. Okay, so next one, G, freeing the trapped animal. There's no prohibition against freeing trapped animals on Shabbos. It's very interesting. So it goes one way. So many prohibitions goes both way. Whatever you're not allowed to do, you're not to allow to undo, right? So you're not allowed to build, you're not allowed to demolish, you're not allowed to write, you're not allowed to erase. But here it's only one way. So you're not allowed to trap, but you can free. There's no prohibition against freeing a trapped animal on Shabbos. Okay. So next one, insects repellent. One is permitted to spray insect repellent on the skin on Shabbos to keep insects away. Right, same, it's very practical, the Sukkot is coming. Alright, so what we do, we spray on like around the door of the house, because you have to go in and out, right, to bring the food out, to bring the dirty dishes back, all this, like a lot of going back and forth. So we spray around the frame and around the sukkah. But we must, it does not say here, but we must be very careful not to spray on insects themselves, because yeah, it's a repellent, but if you spray on the insect, for sure you're going to kill it. So as he said, on the skin there is no problem. As I said, on the clothing, but not on the insects. Okay, so let me quickly check time one second. All right, so I think we continue a little further, and we start the next chapter, which is 24, and our topic is shchita, right? Slaughtering, shoichet. Okay, slaughtering. Section number 1, the Av Melacha, shoichet. This slaughtering is one of 39 Avos Melachas. Like other Avos Melachas, the Melachch of Slaughtering is based on activity that was performed during the construction of the Mishkan. At the time, rams and other beasts were slaughtered for their skins, which were used to cover the Mishkan. So very, very straightforward, right? We're not allowed to slaughter. So here of course, it's on a biblical level. So it's for constructive purpose, meaning they kill them, these animals for the for the skins, right? Of course, as we already learned, we have Baruch HaShem good experience. If it's not for constructive purpose, it's going to be on a rabbinic level, right? Like killing mosquito. Right, of course, as we learned before, yes, they are allowed if needed, but for no reason, like for sure, it's going to be forbidden on the rabbinic level. Okay, so right on the biblical level, they used in the Mishkan, they used the slaughtering for getting the skin of animals. Okay, number 2, definition: Melacha shoichet, slaughtering, is defined as the taking life of any living creature, thereby whether animal or bird, fish or reptile, wild or domesticated, killing even a small insect, walet Melachch of Slaughtering. So here's a very straightforward definition, right, of slaughtering, meaning taking life. How taking life? Directly, indirectly. So, right, of course, that directly would be on a biblical level, indirectly would be on a rabbinical level. forbidden on a rabbinical level. So any bird, fish, or reptile, right? Wild or domesticated, doesn't matter. So of course, if there is danger to life or even possible danger to life, yeah, you're allowed to kill them, but otherwise not. Right. So continue. So last sentence we said, killing even the smallest insect violates the Melachch of Slaughtering. Okay. So next one is. So of course, I mean, if we're walking on the road, right, and there are ants, right, you're not obligated to see if you step on an ant or you don't. So you just continue walking. Don't pay attention, right? But we're talking about intentional, or if you can go around to something, that would be preferable. Okay. So section number 3, Torah and Rabbinic prohibition. Under Torah law, the prohibition of slaughtering applies only when one kills creature from which one will derive benefit, for example, by eating it or by using the hide. However, the rabbis extended the prohibition to include killing creature for no beneficial purpose. Accordingly, one is forbidden to kill on Shabbos simply to the sake of killing or for sport. And in general, we're not allowed to kill for sport. Like, it's not a Jewish way. So let's start from the beginning. So under the Torah law, the prohibition of slaughtering applies only one kills creature from which one derives benefit. So meaning eating it using hide or even sell it, right? So they used to sell birds, like chirping birds, other creatures as well, like a Leib. Okay, it's for other people to do whatever they need to do. Okay, so it would be forbidden, right? But here it's for slaughtering only. Okay, so forget about the chirping birds. Okay, for slaughtering. However, the rabbis extend the prohibition include killing, right? Killing creature for no beneficial purposes. Right, people are playing, right? Playing accordingly, one is forbidden to kill on Shabbos simply for the sake of killing or sport. So sport is, as we said, is never forbidden, is never allowed. Like, right, it's bal tashlis. So if you want to eat this animal, there is no problem. Animals were created for that. If you want to benefit from this animal, from the hide, there is no problem. But just to kill for no reason, it's that only people kill for no reason. Other animals, they don't kill, right? If they're hungry, carnivorous animals, yes, they're hungry, yeah, they're going to attack and they're going to be very vicious. But otherwise, they can lay next to a zebra and then not attack it. Why? Because they ate. That's it. The sati ate it. They're not going to attack for tomorrow's breakfast, right? So continue. No killing. So part number 4, methods of killing. The Hebrew word shoichet is generally used to refer killing with a blade. However, the Melachch of Slaughtering include any methods of taking life. For example, bludgeoning, suffocating, shooting, drowning, and poisoning. Okay, so so that's the whole thing. I mean, so that's methods of killing. So when we say shkita means like usually with a knife, but any killing, whatever killing. So if you take this fish from aquarium, for example, right, and it's going to die without the water. So yeah, it's also shkita. So it's not a shkita like in a normal sense, but it's a killing for sure. Okay. Suffocating, right? Suffocating, like shooting, drowning, and poison. All of these things. So meaning, what is the problem? Problem is right, if you have an insect in your toilet bowl, right? and you need to flush. So if you can if you can use another toilet, there is no right. It would be preferable. If you have the only one and you guess and you will be embarrassed or something. yeah, like technically after the fact you can flush it, but that's drowning for sure. Again, if you have in your house, for example, you have two restrooms, so you use the second one. Don't kill the animal by right. Don't kill the animal. If it's drowned, like if it's dead, that is different story. But otherwise, by you flushing, for sure you drowned it. Okay, so next one. Removing fish from water. Removing fish from water on Shabbos is violation of the Melachch of Slaughtering, as a cause of wish to suffocate. Okay. The prohibition applies even if fish is replaced in water before they actually dies, so long as it was left out of the water long enough for the liquid between the fins to begin drying out. There is when the liquid adheres to one finger, is drawn after the finger in a sticky thread. Okay. Once the fish reach this state, it is regarded as dead. Hence, a person who removes it from the water violated the Melachch of Slaughtering. Okay, I'm not sure how many of us have aquariums, but let's see. So we were in the house of somebody in Israel, right? And instead of doing the right thing, they have, unfortunately, not religious people. I'm very, very fortunate, right? And they have all of the aquariums, like huge, and they showed this fish and that fish, and this was sick, and we cured it. And I say, but how can you cure the fish? Like, what is it? You give shots, you get pills. What do you do? No, they say, if you're funny. We give they sell the drops, like you put few drops or whatever the drops needed based on the size of the tank, and it helps the fish. So you see how much people waste time and the resource and everything on fish. Where is it going to live or going to die? It was sick. These people from fish store did not from a pet store did not know what to do. They wanted to throw out, but this little hero took to his house instead of learning Torah, instead of doing mitzvahs, and he was caring for the fish day and night. And when and people Jews have a very good hearts, you understand? So, but sometimes it's geared to wrong causes. And they say when the fish was sick, and the whole family stay up and they taking care of the fish. I don't know. All this is crazy. For me, it's like I want to vomit, unfortunately. But there's so much passion, so much love and kindness that goes to fish. Right. Very, very sad situation. Right. So I tried to send out some information. I'm not sure. I did not get any replies. Baruch Hashem. Maybe they block us, I don't know. So again, remove the fish from water. Remove the fish from water on Shabbos, violation of Melachch of Slaughtering. Commentary. In addition to violation of Melachch of Slaughtering, removing fish from water might also constitute violation of Melachch of Trapping. Right, for sure. So you trap, you take this special thing to get it out. So for sure it is trapped, it cannot go anywhere. Right, slaughtering and trapping, as it caused the fish to suffocate. So meaning without water, it's going to suffocate. How long, right? It's going to take. I'm not sure. Like maybe an hour, maybe less. I'm not sure how long. I think it depends on the fish. How long it can live without water. The prohibition applies even fish replaced in the water. So how do you know if it's died? So meaning right. So if you take with a finger between the fins, so it should be wet enough and sticky, so you can touch the third surface, the second surface. So from fish to your finger to the surface, and it should be wet, meaning that it's still alive. It's not. So basically, it's dead. Drawn after the finger, sticky thread. Okay. Right. Once the fish reach this state, so meaning I think it would be still alive, but it's going to die soon. Right. So that's the way I understand. It is regarded as dead, even though it's going to swim. Hence, the person who removes it from the water is violated the Melachch of Slaughtering. So meaning that people without learning, I'm not sure how often they remove fish right from the tank on Shabbos, but without learning these things in details, for sure they violate. So now is a big one. Is I think fish, this fish stuff does not apply to most of us, but next one does. And it's One second, let me check time because it's a big topic. Okay, so it says drawing blood. The Melachch of Slaughtering includes not only full-fledged killing but also partial killing. Therefore, one is forbidden under Melachch of Slaughtering to cause blood to flow from any living creature, human or non-human. This is derived from the verse stated in Dvarim 12:23. For no blood, for the blood it is the life. Okay, so that's about it. For the blood it is a life. The verse tells us the creature's very life force is contained in its blood. It follows that any loss of blood constitutes some small measure of death. Therefore, one who causes blood to flow on Shabbos has violated the Melachch of Slaughtering. Under the Torah law, the prohibition against causing blood to flow applies only if it's done for beneficial purposes. For example, blood needed for testing. The rabbis, however, prohibited one to cause blood to flow even for non-beneficial purposes, for example, squeezing blood from a wound. Okay, so that's a big one, I think apply to all of us. So let's try from the beginning and right, BeEzrat HaShem, try to understand. So again, so Melachch of Slaughtering is not only like a complete killing, but partial killing. What is partial killing? To cause the blood flow from any human being or right, or non-human being, and that's I'm sure if we're going to talk about it, I don't remember, maybe yes, maybe no. That's one of the prohibition of brushing our teeth on Shabbos. People, especially with weak gums, right? Some people have a weak gums, so even they buy the softest brush, the gums are going to bleed, like almost every time, right? So I remember, I think I said I have a colleague like this in my workplace, and he explained me about the gums. Like he had this issue, he had a multiple surgery one after another. It's terrible. So he said, "Oh, you do not know?" I said, "Baruch Hashem, I do not know." So he explained to me. Right. Right. And this is derived from the verse in Dvarim. For the blood is life. So, and actually, how the sages say, so, right, how much blood you need to survive? I think it says revi'is. Revi'is is what's from 3.2 to 5.1 ounces. It depends on whose opinion we follow. So, meaning tiny amount. So, if you have still, so when they say that this person lost a lot of blood, so a lot of blood could be up to this point. I think we also said it in, I'm not sure when, but we said it in Kav Yashar. So this blood, the soul of the person, this nefesh, is connected to the body only if this revi'is of blood is there. Right? So this revi'is is very important measurement. So of course we visit for kiddush, for other purposes, but also to determine whether a person is still alive or not. Right. So right. So let's quickly read. This verse tells us that creature's very life force is contained in its blood. So meaning no life, no blood, no life. It follows that any loss of blood constitutes some small measure of death. Right, so meaning the person is not as alive. So like when person donated blood or something, had surgery, or sometimes even some tooth was pulled or something, and it was like bloody, like this wisdom tooth or something, like when a lot of blood or something. So yeah, the person feels weak. right? From the whole surgery, but also from the loss of blood, for sure. Not that much that he or she must lay down, but still weaker, for sure. Therefore, one who causes blood to flow on Shabbos has violated the Melachch of Slaughtering. Right. So we'll see. So meaning all of the bloods. So meaning we're not allowed to cut also. We have to be very careful. Right. And some like to squeeze like pop the pimples. Also the problem because the blood is going to flow. Right. Continue. Under the Torah law, the prohibition against causing blood to flow applies only to done for beneficial purposes, right? As always, right? For a blood need for testing. Of course, if for example, if a person had to go to emergency room, so you have to ask the doctor. I have to ask the doctor, is it absolutely necessary to have a blood test? For example, if a person has his or she's diabetic, so of course they say it's a must. What are you talking about, right? Or for example, if a person is diabetic and they have to draw the blood every day, I'm not sure. I think in severe cases, I think that they have to do it like every day to check the sugar level. So in this case, yes, we will allow them because for them it's like it's very, very important. It's like a life danger for sure. So how do I know? We learn a lot about the diabetes in this medical class, right? Class of medical halacha. I learned a lot. As I said, I did not know. I did not know how many words I do not know. Right, all the Latin words, all this medical procedure. So this young fellow, so sometimes you do not even know how knowledgeable people are who went to medical school. Very knowledgeable. It's very interesting. All of the procedures tubes going from this direction, from other direction. Okay, so meaning right. So meaning if it's if you can live without this test, for example, if a person came to this emergency room and it's 3 hours before the Shabbos is over, right, or 4 hours, so we can always ask him, can you do the blood test later on? He said, why? We can always explain. Say in 4 hours, is it good 4 hours? I say, yeah, 4 hours we can wait, no problem. So we can do some other testing. But if it's critical, for sure, because we need to do anything to save a person's life, even if we're not sure if it's the life is in danger. As we learned, I don't know in which book, but we said you don't have to be expert, right? It's essentially from Shulchan Aruch. If it's internal, so if it's external, so many people would understand how bad the situation is. But if it's internal, you have no idea. So you need to know. You need to do everything possible. Right. The rabbis, however, prohibited one to cause the blood flow even for non-beneficial purpose. For example, to squeeze blood from the wound. Right, and sometimes we have scab, right? So it's like so itchy. We want to take it off. So we have to be very careful before taking this. Scab is not blood. Scab is not blood, but we have to make sure that it's completely dry, like you have a fresh skin underneath. Otherwise, if it's not completely healed under the scab, so it's going to start bleeding. Continue. Causing a bruise. Inflicting a bruise upon a human being, or the most animals. There is animals that have thick skin or hides. Whether the prohibition against drawing blood on Shabbos. This is because bruising involved the rupture of the blood vessel beneath the skin. Discoloration that ensues is produced by blood seeping from the ruptured vessel. This blood does not enter the bloodstream and eventually eliminated from the body through the natural processes. Thus, bruising removes some of the creature's blood from its body. Therefore, it is included in Melachch of Slaughtering. So that's the big deal. That's the big deal. So let's try to understand what it says here. So bruising is like inflicting, as we said. So it's like a drawing of blood, and that's why for I think we said in our series of short clips respect of the parents, right? For the parents, we said that if somebody bruises their parent, they deserve death penalty. So why? Because drawing blood. So right, for like on biblical level, drawing blood. But I think they also said it just because bruise means that the blood did not come through the skin. That's it. But the blood was drawn, as he said, from the blood vessel, and it's not going to return. So yeah. So for bruising a parent, person can get a death penalty. Chas v'shalom. For bruising other people, not so much. They would pay the compensation, but that's it. Okay. So let's just quickly read it. Inflicting the bruises upon the human being or upon most animals. Right, there is animals that have thick skins or hides, thick. Violate the prohibition against drawing blood on Shabbos. So for sure. So that's comes okay. All of these people who play basketball, sports, and active, like they push each other, and another guy can fall, right? Simply, right? So meaning fall and get bruised, and the person is going to violate this Melachch, right? So very, very careful. This is because bruising involved the rupture of the vessel that is beneath the skin, right? So meaning the blood came out. Discoloration ensures is produced by a blood seeping from the ruptured vessel. But for me, it's like it's fascinating. Like nothing changed. The skin is there, right? The bruise is there, and the body. Just think about it. Without any cuts or any opening, so HaShem is going to clean body completely, without damaging the skin, and this blood, like from the bruise, is going to go away. Where? I don't know, but that's how it works. That's how HaShem created this human body, so beautifully. Does bruising remove some of the creature's blood? So meaning from the system. Right, meaning being a person or not person, right? Therefore, it is included in Melachch of Slaughtering, right? So same I guess with other medical procedures, right? So if it's going to create a bruise, wherever is it, so we have to be careful. So we always have to ask, is it necessary to do it today, or we can postpone? Okay, so let's do maybe one more and we stop. Actually, let me quickly see how much. One more. Causing, it's section number 6. Cases in which it is permitted to kill animals or insects. Right. Where they're in danger of human life, one may kill any animal or insects that present the danger to the human life, even if the creature is not presently pursuing anyone, and even if it is trying to run away. Some example are mad dogs, snakes, and that might be venomous, scorpions, beasts in the presence of one who is allergic to the beast, insects that might be carrying a dangerous disease, for example, certain types of ticks and mosquitoes. Okay, so let's stop here. Let's review this part. Okay, so again, case in which permitted to kill animals. So if again the animals were created for to benefit persons, so if they act opposite to that, so if they endanger the present any danger to the human life, so for sure you can kill them. And actually the Talmud gives the list of the dangerous animals who are always dangerous. So even the people try to make them domesticated. I'm not sure why somebody would keep a lion or something in their apartment. Maybe yeah, they cute when they're little, right? And they like you very much, but one day they're going to kill you, has not kill anybody. Like they're going to kill the person, or the wolves. I don't know, other like panthers. Like maybe it looks cute, but they still wild animals. I think it's 5 or 6 animals. Bears, one of them, that very dangerous. Okay. Right. So meaning if there's a creature that is dangerous, even not pursuing anyone, right? Even trying to run away, so we're allowed to kill it. Of course, don't put your life in danger, but technically you can kill it. Some example: mad dog. So mad dog. Baruch Hashem, I have never seen one, but like in Talmud, it was a lot of mad dogs, like in olden days. I'm not sure where they coming from, how they become mad. I'm not sure, and why we don't see them today. Maybe in Africa or some third world country, maybe. Okay. A snake. So for sure, the Talmud says about snakes. So they say don't be such a a smart cookie, such an expert in snakes. So if there is a snake, so don't assume that it's not dangerous. So assume that it is dangerous. So we're allowed to kill. Scorpions, exactly the same thing. So there are different type of the scorpions. Maybe they like this tail, like this tail, like that. Okay, just kill it and that's it, right? Because yeah, dangerous. Bees that in the present, someone allergic to the bees. So somebody is allergic to the bees. As I said stories before, I'm not going to repeat. So the person can die. For us, it's going to like hurt. Would be annoying for some time, right? But for these people, like danger. So they have to call 911 and people come. They rush them to the hospital. Right? Very dangerous, right? Or tiny babies. Right, infants. So for sure, like yeah. So for adult, again, there is maybe not such a big problem, but for the tiny kids, for sure. Right. So we have to remove them, kill them, no problem. Certain types of ticks and mosquitoes. So also, right, one of people that we know, they went to park. I think in May or beginning of the June, and I think we don't go to the parks when it's warm, when a lot of people they undress, we don't go. But when we do go, when it's cold, still cold, already cold, so when people less people, then they are dressed. So and I saw the signs in the park when we went last, like in the spring. There are signs all over the place, about the sticks, like and how dangerous they say, right? So they describe, so don't go there. So meaning that it was all off season. So they say like stay away from the grass, from the tall grass, like from the bushes, from this period of time to this period of time. But it was everywhere. So meaning right in the whole park. I'm not sure how many signs, hundreds of them. So meaning it is dangerous. Okay, but is park open? Yeah, if you go like in the middle of the road, like on a path, there is no problem. Right? Where did you go? Oh, I remember. We went on Cholmayet Pesach. So guess what? Who is working there? All Jews, all Jewish families. One going up the hill, another down the hill. Amazing scenery. Like I don't know, it was Wednesday or something. So all Jews are walking. Baruch Hashem. Right. So we got so same as mosquito. So you were warned that in your area this mosquito, well, West Nile disease, all of these things. Don't play around. Don't say no. It's not the way they show like on the internet. It's like a different kind. Just kill it. So if there is a danger, kill it. So next one is number 2, where they cause a severe injury. In the case of animals and insects that pose no danger to life, but whose bites cause severe injury, one is permitted to kill them on Shabbos only if they pursue a person. However, if they are not presently pursuing the person, when one may not kill, they may not be killed. So from the beginning, where they cause a severe injury. In the case of animals or insects that pose no danger to life, okay, but whose bites cause severe injury. I'm not sure what would be example, One is permitted to kill them. Okay. On Shabbos, permitted to kill them on Shabbos only if they pursue any person. So meaning if there is no life threat and they in one place, we in another place. So meaning it's not like these mad dogs. Mad dogs for sure. So people can die from this thing. They have to get shots and this and that. Serious thing. Okay. Like deep shots, deep. I don't know. All this. However, if they are not presently pursuing a person, they may not be killed. So, meaning if there is no danger to life, so don't kill these insects or animals. Okay, so let's stop here.